to 1. I'm John Miglash for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, I had a true consumer experience, so I want to talk about that before we go any farther, in case you wondered why I was posting these pre-recorded messages. And so here we go. Okay. Spirit Airlines. This is from Snopes. I was looking for some interesting stuff about Spirit, and here it was. Somebody wrote Snopes and said, "Is it true that there was a $69 round trip?" That sounds like a lie. It sounds like the Spirit Air got hacked. Well, I don't know all about whether they got hacked or not, but Snopes said, "Yeah, it's true." Now, well, I didn't take a round trip, but I flew Spirit one other time, and when I did, I took my regular carry-on. I thought, well, I'll be able to carry it on, and it cost me like $50 or something. It would have cost me less to check it, but I don't like checking it. So all of a sudden, my bargain airfare, and it was $50 the other way too, because once you're there with it, you got to kind of deal with it. But this time I decided to check on Spirit because I wanted to fly from O'Hare down to Dallas and buy a car and drive it home. And I thought, well, let's keep this a low budget operation. So I went on Spirit and I found out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays I could fly from O'Hare to DFW for $36.50. Just $37. And let's say I didn't exactly believe it, because there's a lot of advertising that doesn't really deliver the truth. It gets you going down the path, and then you can't really get what you want. And so I thought, well, I'm going to try and actually fly for $36.50. So I get on there, and of course they're asking, do you want to save your seat? Now I know, because my daughter flew to South America on Spirit, and she made the mistake of having like 4 connecting flights and checking her seat every time, and it ended up, and then on the way back, and so it was like added $400. I think it was like $50 a pop, because it was international, and she didn't know any better. So all of a sudden her budget airline fare was more than it would have been to fly United or something. So I knew not to do that. And I knew I could fly without checking a bag. So I figured out a little backpack that I was going to take with some extra clothes if I got stuck down there. And because, I'm buying this LS on Craigslist, and I'm buying it from a guy in California who's selling it for his mom in Dallas. So he tells me she's going to pick me up, but I haven't talked to her at all. It's like, are you crazy? And because I know video, I made a video so that they would hold it for me, which they did. And anyway, and I'm back, so something good must have happened out of it. But anyway, so, and then my daughter said they didn't even give you water on these international flights. Usually you get free booze. And maybe it's a while since I flew international. But, I avoided the baggage claim. I avoided the fast move through security. Actually, there was nobody there because it's down at the end of Terminal 3, which I used to fly Alaska Air, and there's nobody there, and it's great. It's super great. And so I didn't do that for the extra $10 or something. And they let me on the plane. And not only that, but I got an aisle seat in row 8, which is, I'm not a big guy, so I can sit anywhere. I don't care. And but usually I'm sitting, someplace at the back. And so, and then they actually have snacks. So I did buy a bottle of water for $3. I didn't know you could carry an empty water bottle through security and then fill it O'Hare has special water fountains that have a filling spout on them and fill it up right up. So I could have saved myself that $3, but I thought, hey, so it's still under 40, $39.50. I got to go to Dallas. And we had a great time. The flight attendants were a lot of fun and engaging. And they said that they're getting new airplanes and they're getting Wi-Fi. I don't know what it'll cost. I'm sure it'll cost something, which is great. If you can fly. And then they told me that if you actually go to the ticket counter, you can get penny airfare. Like if like I'm going to Boston next month. The trouble is I'm not anywhere near, O'Hare. I'm 2 hours away, so it's not worth it. But if I go by there, I might stop in and just say hello and see if I can buy 2 tickets to Boston. I would have done that if I would have known. I would have booked my flight because I know when the dates are. But I'm going to check Spirit anyway. I'm going to check Spirit first and see how it goes. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that marketing and reality every now and then intersect. Not often, and we'll get to that in another article. Okay, cookies at the D Mexico, which I thought was in Mexico, but it turns out it's not. And they were talking about Europe's marketing issues, and last year was all about GDPR. This year is about the cookies and CCPA, and that tracking is in trouble. Now, that's the problem with that is that digital doesn't track well anyway. Attribution stinks because they can falsely attribute darn near everything to the cookie that got dropped on you, even when you never saw the ad at all, and maybe it was only 1 pixel in size. And with all the fraud, this is just going to help things. Everybody's saying they'll have a different way of doing it, but Safari, Apple's browser, basically is just kicking the tar out of that. So you might need to get some good content. With a recent study by Google suggesting impressions without cookies decreased in value by 52%. So here we go. Okay. I love this story just because it's great to hear eTail wins every now and then. And fresh food, guess what? Fresh food beats online K-rations. What an idea, right? It's a big advantage. A big advantage for brick and mortar stores. Advantage that's growing faster than most onliners would like to admit. What are they doing? Seafood is up in supermarkets, and also bakery and deli departments, and of course, the obvious fruits and vegetables. Americans are moving toward the keto diet where you want fresh stuff, right? Anyway, so online shopping makes people hungrier for in-store excursions. People who do at least some shopping online spend 1.5% more on fresh foods than people who don't. So we get it. And isn't that great? Now, the story I really want to get to is this one by Helen Edwards, rather. And great marketers don't sell dreams, they sell realities. And she said a great new HBO documentary by Dan Ariely suggests that it isn't about the data. People don't get motivated by data, but by storytelling. Stories have emotions that data doesn't, and emotions get people to do all kinds of things. And as marketers, we kind of know that persuasion is better than the rational and the factual. However, then she goes into Elizabeth Holmes, who had Theranos, which was this company that said, well, we can do blood testing with like microscopic drop of blood rather than the pint of blood you need to get most blood testing done. And I'm going to get mine on Monday. Ugh. I can't watch because it does take a bit of blood. And that's only for like 5 tests or something. So she said it was going to be great. She told all these stories. She got on Forbes. And She was worth 4.5 billion, under 30, and now is worth zero. But she's supposedly marrying. I looked up what's she doing now. She's supposedly marrying some heir to some fortune, so she's going to do okay. Her employees not so much. One committed suicide. And real storytellers do not merely tease with the who and what and why, but illuminate, surprise, and excite with the how. And I just want you to know, like my mom said to me once when the .com was raging, why aren't you rich if you're so smart? And I said, Mom, because I don't want to lie to people. And frankly, the marketing industry, I got disillusioned. I kind of unplugged from it for about 20 years. We kept doing what we do, but if you wonder where I went, that's why. Because people started lying about their capabilities and that they could do what we were doing. And they still can't. They don't. And now we've got 25 years of experience doing it. And, people are still flocking to the people who have something completely untested, and they're going to turn their circulation department over to them. Great marketers don't just work out what the world is missing, but determine the pathway with as much specificity as necessary to ensure that it gets delivered for the betterment of both consumers and businesses. We should be suspicious of leaders who leave out the how of how their prospective storyline is going to work because it's the meatiest bit. I wonder some days why I get few views, and maybe I give too many details, and maybe there's too much how in how it actually works, and maybe you don't believe me, and that's fine. We have a risk-free test. But so I'll work on becoming a better storyteller, but real leaders are unafraid of detail and data. Sorry, I get into the details. If you're looking for real stories, give me a call. You like and share. Share shows you care. Your friends will think you're smart. Have a great day.